Hello, welcome to this video. So in this video we're going to be talking about navigating the maze. Because often when going into the subject you'll see an image like the series of symbols on the screen and it's a bit overwhelming, and particularly if you're new, new novitiate into this kind of thing, it is really overwhelming. So this video will be just firstly mentioning that problem, and then talking about kind of strategies to manage such that you can get the best out of the journey, and get out of it what is meaningful for you whilst navigating through the sea of information, much of which you might not find particularly helpful. Firstly, there are a few problems to bring up. The problem of many names is one of them, and perhaps the biggest barrier to entry into the subject. So, for example, the name kind of Dracula, Set, and Bahamut refer to the exact same kind of thing with slightly different influences, and therefore slightly different takes on the same thing, but they're all referring ultimately to the same thing, all concepts of the same thing, and this can be incredibly confusing. And really the way around this is simply to choose one kind of one society or one group of people, and then to research kind of demonology in the context of that. So choose a group and pick the group that works for you, because otherwise you're going to be trying to go through many roads at once, and we're not quantum objects, so that isn't really feasible for us. One thing that is worth saying is the different names do reflect different philosophies of the same thing. So kind of Set is referring to kind of the Egyptian belief, ancient Egyptian belief, in there being kind of a consciousness beyond the natural world, and that can be human consciousness being beyond the natural world, or another kind of consciousness being beyond the natural world. And also another thing is, even when you look at a particular tradition, such as kind of the Christian traditions, you see two different names for perhaps the same being. For example, Abaddon in Hebrew or Apollyon in Greek. They're referring to the same thing. It's, they both roughly translate as the word destruction, and they're often associated with a being. Although they are used in places throughout the Bible where it is questionable whether it makes sense to think about Apollyon and Abaddon as being and not simply as concepts of destruction. But that's for another time, really. The important thing is that even within tradition you can encounter the same thing with different names, although some modern people would argue that they are in fact distinct entities, and that's part of the confusion associated with studying this kind of subject. So really the thing is, pick a tradition and then just try to focus on one bit of that tradition at a time. Don't try to look at all of the traditions at once, Hebrew, Gnostic, kind of, Judaism. At the moment I'm reading the Kabbalah, so a lot of my focus is on understanding that text. And then after that I'll move on to something else. Another book I'm reading is Infernal Geometry, but I try to keep reading only kind of 2 books on the subject at once to avoid mass confusion. And I would recommend that for anyone entering into this world. It's full of new information, full of new symbols, full of new concepts. Pick a road and go down that road. Don't try to go across all roads at once. And fortunately there's no really right or wrong road. There will be some people trying to tell you should do this way, we should practice this way, but there is no really right and wrong road. There are simply roads, and it's up to you to pick what one you walk down on, and my videos are hopefully giving you the keys to unlock what road works best for you. And I'm trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can. I do obviously have biases, but no one should ever tell you that you must walk down this road. What road you walk down is up to you. So importantly, there are many roads, and this rather brief video has just been about mentioning the fact that there are many roads to go down. Don't go down all of them at once, but also don't follow the herd. Walk down your own road, which can sometimes be a lonely journey. But never said being an adventurer was something that involved having a lot of people going on the same journey as you. But it will be rough and it will be difficult at times, but that's why there's a community out there to help you. And so if this is your first kind of venture into the world, then into this kind of world, then there are people around you, but only you can choose to walk a road, and it's up to you to pick what road you walk down. Thank you very much. This has been a brief video, but I'll hopefully see you for more soon. See you in a bit.